There are stories that people only dare to tell late at night, and even in the dark they still make us shudder with fear. This is one of them. The following story is called The Painting That Never Dries. Theo Morel sat alone in a dark attic, the sunset streaming in through the dusty window. Beside him was an empty easel, white and silent. It had been 3 years since Theo had last sold a painting. The criticism, the pitying looks, the cold rejections, all choked the remaining will in him. That night, drunk and desperate, Theo muttered, "I would give up everything, just to paint the most honest emotions." A hoarse laugh rang out from the dark corner. From the darkness, a creature stepped out. It was cloaked in black, its face as hazy as smoke. "Everything?" The voice was like the cold wind whistling through the cemetery. "Including your soul?" Theo didn't think. He nodded. The contract was signed in blood. The next morning, Theo woke up with a burning feeling in his chest. He pulled out a white canvas and started painting like a madman. The first painting was completed in less than an hour. A woman's face, distorted with pain, but filled with such vivid obsession that anyone who looked at it felt suffocated. When it was exhibited, it shocked the entire local art community. Viewers, even if they only glanced at it, felt a sharp pain in their hearts, their worst memories flooding back. A middle-aged man collapsed right at the exhibition, his mouth constantly whispering, I'm sorry. And Theo? He just stood there, smiling with satisfaction. But the more he painted, the darker and more insane the paintings became. They were no longer the emotions of others. They were reflections of Theo himself. The second, a creature with hundreds of eyes, all crying blood. The third, a face without a mouth, only screaming in silence. The fourth, himself, chained by invisible hands. Visitors began to react strangely, convulsions, screaming, even self-torture. The authorities ordered the gallery to be closed. Friends shunned him. Lovers left without saying goodbye. It was just Theo and the paintings, more and more piled up all over the room. One night, Theo stared at the last painting. A dark door on which were carved strange lines in a language he had never seen. With a strange urge, he reached out and touched the painting. Instantly the room twisted. The paintings began to shift. From beneath the paint, hideous hands reached out, pulling at him. He realized the horrifying truth. Each painting was a piece of his soul torn apart, rotting, exposed for the world to see. And now, with nothing left to give, he himself would be trapped forever in the last painting. The next morning, the attic was empty. Only one painting remained hanging in the middle of the room. A dark door, slightly ajar, and in the darkness inside, a pair of eyes could be seen staring open. Years later, it was said that sometimes on stormy nights, if you stood in front of that painting long enough, you would hear the pounding, the whispering for help, and even the insane screams of Theo. But if you opened the door to that painting, you would take his place. Forever.